Good morning, everybody. Forces and motion. This is today's topic. Push or pull results in some motion. Whenever there is a push or a pull, then there will be a motion. A motion is a change of position of an object with respect to time. So we can see here there's a table. In that table at 9 a.m. the book was here, and at 9:01 a.m. the book has changed to a new position. So here we can see that at two different times the object is in two different positions. So that is the change of position of an object with respect to time. Next, rest. Rest means at two different times the object has not moved at all. The object is in same position at two different times. That's called as rest. The other name for rest is stationary. Don't forget to note this spelling. That is A. You must use only N-A-R-I, not N-E-R-I. The N-E-R-I stationary is books. So books. Okay, so don't use that. Books, papers, all those things. So don't use that spelling here. Next, relativity. Relativity means what? So you see a bus here. For this bus, 4 students are waiting. Their name starts with alphabetical order. Anita, Babu, Chitra and David. All 4 are waiting for the bus. After some time, the bus comes and this Anita and Babu, both of them gets into the bus. Now Chitra asks David, tell me whether Babu is in motion or not. Now David tells that no, Babu is not in motion. After some time, the bus starts moving. Now again Chitra asks David, tell me whether Babu is in motion or not. Now David tells that yes, Babu is in motion because the bus is moving. Next day, Chitra asks Anita, yesterday while you were going in the bus, was Babu moving or not? Anita tells that no, he was not moving. He was just sitting on a seat. He was not moving at all. So now who is correct? Is Anita correct or David correct? We can see that both of them are correct. If we see from David's position, Babu is moving. But if you see from Anita's position, then Babu is not moving. This is called as relativity. Relativity, from whose position we are seeing, based on that we can decide differently. That's called as relativity. Another example, Babu is standing on the shore and both of his parents are going on a boat. From Babu's position, his parents are in motion, but from his father's position, mother is not in motion, and from mother's position, father is not in motion, and also from boat's position, both of them are not in motion. Okay, one more example. The Anita is standing near the swing, and Beulah, Chitra, both of them are in motion. Now Anita can see that both Beulah and Chitra are in motion, but from Beulah's position, Chitra is not in motion, and from Chitra's position, Beulah is not in motion, and from swing's position, both Beulah and Chitra are not in motion. Again, Chitra is going in a cycle. From Chitra's position, from cycle's position, Chitra is not in motion, but from road's position, Chitra is in motion, and from a person standing in on the road, from his view, Chitra is in motion and cycle is also in motion. Okay, you could have noticed during night time, you could have noticed a moon. The moon will be without any motion. It will be in some position. After some time, if some cloud crosses the moon, and if the cloud crosses in the left, towards the left direction, you will feel that the moon is moving towards the right direction. Actually, moon is not moving, only the cloud is moving. But as the cloud is moving towards the left, we will think that the cloud is moving on the right direction. This is also this relativity. Okay, so whenever an object is moving in the some direction, other things will seem to move in the opposite direction. Again, if you are going in a train, if your train is moving towards the left side, you will find that the trees are moving towards the right side. But actually that's not the truth. The trees are not moving, only your train is moving. But you will think that, you will feel that the trains are moving, the trees are moving on the opposite direction. That's not true. But okay, next Aryabhatta. Aryabhatta is a very famous ancient Indian astronomer. Astronomer means one who studies about sky, about celestial objects, about sun, star, moon, all those things. So that person is called as astronomer. Aryabhatta told that if we are moving in a boat from right to left direction, we will feel that all the things in the shore, like the trees, will be seen to be moving from left to right direction. In the same way, during night time, if we watch the sky, we can find the stars, moons and other things are moving from east to west direction. But that's not true, because it's only the earth which is rotating from west to east direction. In the same way, if someone asks us in which direction does the sun rises and in which direction does it sets, we will tell that it rises in east direction and sets in west direction. But this is also not true, because it's not the sun which is moving, but it's only the earth which is moving from west to east direction. So only because of this, the sun seems to be moving from east to west direction. Things move based on the things causing the motion. Those things are classified into animate and inanimate agency. If a human being or animal causes the motion, then they are called as animate agency. For example, a bullock cart is the motion of a bullock cart is caused by a bullock. So the bullock is the animal, here bullock is the animate agency. If we push or pull a table, or if we kick a ball, or if we pull water from well, then we human beings are the animate agencies. Next, inanimate agency. If there is if a grass is dangling in the air, then air is the inanimate agency. If a wooden log is moving on a stream or river, then the water is the inanimate agency which causes that motion. Forces are push or pull by an animate or inanimate agency. Types of motion. So the motion, first one is based on contact. If the motion is caused by touching that thing, then it's called as contact force. It's the force executed by touching the object. For example, first one is bullock cart. The bullock cart is pulled by the bullock. So there is a direct contact between the bullock and the bullock cart. So this is a contact force. Next one, fluttering of a flag by wind. Here the flag is made to flutter by the wind. There is also a contact between the wind and the flag. So this is also a contact force. There is a direct touching between these two things. So that's called as contact force. Next one is non-contact force. First one, magnetism. So if we take a nail very close to a magnet, then automatically the magnet will pull the nail. So there is a force here. That force is called as magnetism. We need not take the nail too close to the magnet at all, but somehow this magnet will pull the nail. So that force here is called as magnetic force. Next one, gravity. So if a thing is falling down, if a coconut is falling from a tree, then automatically the coconut will not go up. So it will just fall down. It will be pulled towards the ground by the ground. So that force, the force of the ground towards that coconut is called as gravity or gravitational force. Next one, based on the path. Based on the path of the object, it is again classified into 6 types. First one is circular. So circular means if we have a compass and a pencil, then if we draw a circle, then the pencil is making a circular motion. So based on the path of the motion, the first one here we have is circular motion. Another one is rotational motion in axis. It will be in the axis. If we take a pencil and if we sharpen that pencil using a sharpener, then it's called as a rotational force. The axis of the pencil remains in the same position. It's not moving somewhere, it's just in the same position, but it is making a motion. So that's called as a rotation motion. The same way, sometimes some people will confuse with the circular and rotation motion. So movement of earth. The earth will rotate around itself. It will make a rotation. That's called as rotation. In the same time, it will move around the sun also. That is called as revolution. No. So that revolution is the circular motion, and the movement of the earth in its own axis is called as rotation. So to have some mnemonic, you can think that making of roti. Roti, if we cook it, it will just rotate it. It will be in the same position. It will not move at all, but it will not move away, but there will be a circular motion. There will be a rotationary motion. So that is called as rotational motion. Okay, another one, linear motion. If you take a scale and draw a line using the pencil, then the pencil is making a linear motion. Okay, next one, again, if you move your pen or pencil like this, then this motion is an oscillatory motion. Oscillatory means to and fro, from here to there to here. That is called as oscillatory motion. One more example for this rotation motion is top, bambaram. Top, that will make the movement, this rotation movement. Another one is curvilinear motion. Okay, this is the fifth type of motion based on the path. So if you have a dot made of paper or something, and you are throwing it on something, and first it will start in some position, slowly it will gain speed and height, and after that, after some time, it will fall down. So here you can see that it makes a curve here. So this type of motion is called as curvilinear motion. If a bee or a bug is flying, it will fly as per its own will. That type of motion is called as zigzag motion. It will move as per its wish. That is a zigzag motion. So these are the 6 types of motions based on the path. Next, motion based on time interval. 2 types of motions are there. One is periodic motion, another one is non-periodic motion. Periodic means motion repeated in equal intervals of time. For example, pendulum in a clock. So in the clock, pendulum will be hanging, a circular thing will be hanging in the clock. So this thing, it will move from here to there like this. It will move. That type of motion is called as that is an example for the periodic motion. Another example is ringing of the bell. So for every 45 minutes or sometime the bell will ring. That is a periodic motion. Again, rotation of the earth, revolution of the earth, these are all periodic. They will happen once in a fixed periodic time. These are all called as periodic motion. Non-periodic motion. This motion does not occur in uniform interval. There is no proper particular time duration between 2 occurrences of those motion. That is called as non-periodic motion. For example, movement of leaves in wind. And also, if someone asks for restroom in our class, if someone gets in after some time, that may happen at any time. There is no particular duration between their getting in and out of the classroom. So these movements are non-periodic motions. Next one is motion based on time taken. So if it happens too quickly, then they are called as fast motions. If it takes time and happens very slowly, then they are called as slow motion. For example, breeze. Breeze is a slow motion. If hurricane takes place, then that's a fast motion. Walking slowly is a slow motion. Cycling is a fast motion. Next, cycling is a fast motion if cycling is a slow motion if it is compared to going by car. Again, going by car is a slow motion if it is compared to going by some other aeroplane or some other thing. So these are all relative. So based on which we compare it with, it is different always. It's not going to be same. Okay. Next one is uniform and non-uniform motion. If the motion is always the same for so much of time, it is happening at the same pace, then it is called as uniform motion. If the pace changes at different times, then that is called as non-uniform motion. So uniform motion, uniform motion, here the object covers uniform distance in uniform intervals. For example, hands of a clock, always it will take same time. The seconds clock, seconds hand, hours hand, they will all take the same time to cover two different positions. So this is called as uniform motion. Non-uniform motion means there will not be a same pace. They will take different times. For example, there is a train. This train has started from Trichy and it is going towards Madurai. So first it will move slowly, then it will get faster, and after some time it goes over a bridge. Now again it will slow down, and after some time it gets into a station and it halts, it stops there. So that is rest. And from there again it starts, and it will be slower first, then it will take speed, it will become faster, and again it has reached Madurai. So now it is getting slow, and finally it will stop. That is called as rest. So you can see that the train from Trichy to Madurai, it has changed its motion from slow to fast, then slow, everything. So this was not at all uniform. So this is an example for non-uniform motion. Multiple motion. Sometimes we can see that there is a combination of different motions in some objects. Here we can see a cycle. The cycle is going in the linear motion. It's going in a straight line. But at the same time, we can see that the wheel is having a rotational motion. It is having a rotational motion. So here there is a combination of different motions. These type of motions are called as multiple motions. Now what all forces can do? Force can change the state of the object, that is from rest to motion and from motion to rest. Here the pen was in rest first. Now I have made it to move. Okay, so there is a motion here. So because of the force, the pen is having a motion. Again, I am applying force over this. So the motion has stopped. So from the motion, there is a rest now because of the force. So there may be a change in the state of the object because of the force. Next, change in speed and direction. Now the pen is moving slowly. Now I am making it to move faster. So I have increased the speed. The force I applied have increased the speed of the motion. And if it is moving like this, I am making it to move towards the other direction. So the force I applied also changed the direction of the motion. So force can also change the speed and direction of the motion, and it can also change the shape. So here you can see this pouch. It is almost in rectangular shape. Now when I squeeze it, its shape has changed. So because of the force I have applied, its shape has changed. So the force can also change the shape. The next topic we have today is Science Today. In that, first we are going to see about robots. What are robots? They are automatic machines. They are also machines, but they can do the actions automatically. They are the robots. So what are their plus points? They can perform mechanical repetitive jobs faster, very fast, very quickly they can do those jobs, and also those jobs will be accurate. Sometimes they will make some mistakes. Human beings are prone to mistakes, but these machines, robots, they will never cause any mistakes. They will be always accurate, and they can also handle dangerous materials in machines, in cutting, and then handling the sewage, going to space, all those things and all. They can handle dangerous materials, they can travel to dangerous places, and they can handle delicate objects. They can do eye surgery, nerve surgery, anything, because their senses will be very sharp, so they can do those jobs. Now robota, this name robota means forced labor. From this word only we have got the word robot. Robotics means it's a science and study of robots. Artificial intelligence mean making the robots to make decisions. That is, if we want some help in making decisions, we can consult these robots. So CEOs and doctors, all those people, if they need some guidance, they can consult these robots. They will give them guidance. So those type of robots are called as artificial intelligent robots. So what are the organs of sense they have? They have sensors. Those sensors are used as their eyes and ears, and they also have twin video cameras for 3D view. They are like our eye, they also give them 3D view. Next, they use microphones for sound. In our phone, microphones will be there, no? So like that, they will use them for sound. And pressure sensor, like instead of our skin, they use pressure sensors to feel the touch. And radio waves for communication between other devices and other robots. Okay, so they can think, robots can think, they can play games, all the games, but their main negative point is they don't have consciousness. So that is the main thing. We always think we have humanity. The robots don't have this humanity. Okay, so that's the lack of the consciousness. If there is a person, if he only has 5% of chance of survival, and it costs so much of amount of money for his surgery, then the robot may think, why should we make that surgery? We can leave, because the chance of survival is very less. So the robot can decide some other way, but we human beings, we won't decide in that way. That is the main drawback of robots. Next, nano robotics. Nano robotics means they are also robots, but they will be very, very small. Okay, they will be very small robots. We can microscopic size also. They may be in the size of bugs or bees also, or maybe in the size of microscope size also they can be there. For example, we can allow them in the blood to perform surgeries, to remove small tumors and other surgeries, eye surgery, nerve surgery, all those things. So they are very small, so they can do any delicate things, activities. So they are called as nano robotics. These are the future topics. Robots, nano robotics, these are the future sciences. There are going to be lots of job opportunities in these things, in these fields only. Okay, that's the end of today's class. Thank you.